Hey, it's Rowdy HQ back finally in time for the wild card. I'm excited. It's been a while. Uh, had a good Christmas. Hope y'all did too. Yeah, this video is going to be shorter compared to my other videos because, of course, there's not as many games. But yeah, let's get right into it. So, first game, Seahawks at 49ers. I see some people saying that this could be an upset, but from a talent perspective, it's not a close matchup. But Gino's been good this year. The Seahawks have good weapons, but I think I'm have the 49ers winning 30 to somewhere the Seahawks like the mid 20s. I think it could be close, but like I said before, the 49ers just stacked with talent. They might be the most talented team in the league, but rookie quarterback, he's been balling. I've seen some people say he should be in the rookie of the year conversation, but yeah. I think it could be close. I still think the 49ers are good at putting teams away at the end, and they've been clutch this year, and they have the longest win streak in the NFL. Yeah, I just think that the talent's going to be too much for the Seahawks, even if the Seahawks, have Gina, who has way more experience than Brock. So the next game, let me see if I want to get the times right. Yeah, the next game is Chargers at Jags. I think that this could actually, I don't know why I said it like that. This could actually be the wild card game of the weekend because, I mean, it's the battle of like the two stud young quarterbacks. These are like the dream guys that any team would want, like measurables wise. Pretty similar builds, generational prospects, so they look generational at least. Yeah, this one's hard too because it's at SoFi, but I don't really think either of these teams have like a home field advantage ever. Like their fan bases are good, but they're not the most diehard fans, no offense. So I don't know really how a crowd is going to play or a home field advantage is going to play into this. I think both teams are pretty even where it's like they have talent. They still have some holes, but yeah, I saw something about Mike Williams not playing, I think. Let me look that up. I'll keep talking though. He would help immensely because I think that the Chargers could use a little more help offensively in the receiving department. Oh, he got ruled out. Yeah, that's a yikes. I think that makes the game even closer. I think I'm gonna have Chargers going 27, maybe like 27-24 or something. Because I've seen Justin Herbert have a few more clutch moments than Lawrence. So based off that, and he has a little more experience. I mean, not everyone have ever been in the playoffs, but I think he's a little more seasoned. Trevor didn't look too good against the Titans, but they clutched up. Yeah, I think this is probably gonna be the closest game. It's pretty even, but I still have the Chargers winning by a little bit. Next game. Uh, Here I lost my order. I should know this by now, but I'm bad with memorizing things. Oh yeah. The next game, Dolphins at Bills. I think this game could be a blowout, knowing that Tua is out. Yeah, this stinks, honestly. Like the Dolphins finally get in the playoffs and their starting quarterback is injured. This was gonna determine the best of three matchup because I split during the regular season. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the Bills lay it on them. I think they'll be fired up. I know the DeMar Hamlin thing happened a little bit ago, but I think they'll be fired up. Uh, they always look good like the first round because I think they're always like the superior team when they play in the first round of the playoffs. The Dolphins, I think, might be a year away because they have holes some places in their team, and I don't really know how much you can do with like Jalen Waddle and Tyreek dumping it off. I think that the Dolphins could win if the Bills come out flat and the Dolphins come out, okay, we're gonna get our guys involved immediately, make it easy. Because trying to tackle Tyreek and Jalen Waddle, I mean, it's really hard. It's probably the most elusive duo in the league at receiver. Decent running backs, decent O line. I mean, yeah, I don't think the Bills should sleep on them, but I do think that this is like the most likely blowout game of the wild card. So yeah. Not that much more to say. And the thing is, the Bills' home field advantage, that matters. And I think the Dolphins could play in the cold, but yeah, I mean that this is a home field advantage. Um, Next game. Oh yeah, Giants at Vikings. I think that this could be the upset of the weekend. This is the most likely upset, even though I've seen people say that they think that the Giants are going to win, which based off like how they've looked recently, that makes sense. But yeah, the Vikings. I want to keep saying this like stereotype because I don't want to hop on the trend, but I really do think I don't know how they represent their like 13-4 record. Like I don't know if they're as good as that. They're clutch. I'll give them that. They win a lot of one score games, but eventually they'll come to bite you in the butt. It's not a good way to keep winning. It can work in the playoffs because you're only playing 4 games to get it all. But yeah, we saw against the Packers, if you shut down Jefferson, this team just hits a wall. Like they have Thielen, who's really good. I think he might be slowing down a bit. Dalvin Cook, he's been good, but I don't know if he's like a generational talent. Like, he's not gonna get you going if your like team's not doing anything. Like he plays well off like if the receivers are going, they have to drop back, then he gets going. But yeah, they got to get Justin Jefferson involved. I think this is a big game for Kirk because I think if they flame out against the Giants, I think he's out. I think they look in another direction at quarterback. I think I don't know. Maybe he has signed a longer extension than I think, but yeah, I think he's out if they flame out this year. Their defense is pretty bad, balanced by their offense being really good. The Giants, I think, are different on the other hand. I think their defense is really good and their offense is mediocre, but they're scrappy. I mean, you got to give Dable credit. He's probably the coach of the year because he's overachieved. They don't have any receiver help. The O-line, I think, has gotten better. Daniel Jones, I don't know if he's the guy, but I do think I think he warrants another season because the Giants aren't going to be picking like high with the quarterback. So I don't know if they can get anyone better than Daniel Jones. If he flames out next year, then I say, okay, yeah, let's move on. But yeah, Saquon Barkley's been a beast. I think he's cooled down a bit, but if the Vikings offense like fizzles out early, like struggles to get going, and the Giants start getting momentum with like these third down runs, because they can do that with Saquon and Daniel, like scramble. And he makes a big throw or two. I think that the Vikings are in trouble. I'm still gonna have the Vikings winning because I bet they feel disrespected right now. But and it's a good home field advantage. But yeah, I'm gonna predict all these games are like in the 20s, the scores. That's probably not gonna happen, but yeah. I have the Vikings winning like maybe 24-21, or it might be higher score than that, like 30-21 or 24. Next game, Ravens at Bengals. Yeah, this is another case of I don't think this is gonna. Well, it could be close because the Ravens have a good defense, but the fact that Lamar's not playing, that's just such a big blow. I mean, Bengals have a good defense. All I really have to do is like stop the run and like put people double Mark Andrews, and that's it. I mean, the defense is gonna have to carry him in this one, and I don't know if they can really contain the Bengals receiving core. Like I said before, I think that the Bengals arguably have the best offense in the NFL. They're really good everywhere except like O-line, and even then they've improved and they've worked around it. I think it could be like a 24-21 type game or 24-14. But yeah, they got to work out the Lamar thing. I've said that before. I mean, if they haven't paid him yet, I don't know if they're gonna pay him ever. And then now there's like rumors about how like, oh, he's injured. Well, he is injured, but maybe he hasn't tried hard enough to get back, or like, he hasn't talked to the media because then they'd probably say like, hey, could you play if you were like wearing a brace? I've seen people say that. Um, how serious is the injury? Yeah, they got to get that worked out. I would be surprised if the Ravens win. I think that would be the biggest upset for me. I mean, I think it could be close, but if the Ravens beat the Bengals, I'll be shocked. That would be like the biggest upset of the wild card weekend for me. Um, yeah. I mean, it's a division rival, so anything could happen. It's a rival game, but yeah. I think that the Bengals are going to win pretty comfortably at the end. Like, could be close. Yeah, I don't know. I can't predict these scores. They're never accurate. And then the game that's going to get the most viewership, I know the NFL was salivating when they saw how this schedule played out. Cowboys at Bucks. This is probably going to break the wild card weekend for viewership. Um, don't know about home field advantage because I think Cowboys fans are going to travel well to Tampa. I mean, I think they have good fans, but I think the Cowboys are going to split the arena, the stadium. Grass field though, so I know Jason Garrett brought that up about how the Cowboys are bad on grass. I think there might be some merit to that, but I think the better team will win always, well, most of the time. I have the Cowboys winning, but I think this is a 50-50 game. This to me is the hardest game to predict. Uh well, I think the Chargers and the Jags in the Bucks game or the Cowboys Bucks games are like the two ones that are hard to predict because I think like they're pretty even with their talent level. Um Tom Brady's been clutch this year, but the offense has not been like explosive. It's been good. I think he can get the job done, but he's clearly declined a little, and they can't run the football. Knock on wood, because that's the one time they did was against the Cowboys week 1. Uh, yeah, the defense has been carrying them. On the other hand, like I think that the Cowboys, I mean, I'm going to feel most emotion. I'm going to talk most about them because I'm a Cowboys fan. I know the most about them. The Cowboys should go into this game feeling disrespected because Devin White, after week 1, basically said that the offense was simple. Like when people use the word simple, it's disrespectful. Like if I said you had a simple mind, that I'm calling you stupid. I don't think he really meant it to that degree, but he basically said, yeah, we knew what they were doing. Like they're not smarter than us. We knew what they were gonna do. They go out there. When players go out and say stuff like that, that means that they're confident that they're gonna beat you. And then Mike Williams, I mean, I don't really think he meant it as disrespect, but he said that the team was talented, but they're simple. He literally used the word simple. The Cowboys need to go in this game feeling disrespected because the past 5 weeks it's mirrored last season where the offense kind of stalled and it just looked like sloppy football. Like they weren't really dominating anyone. They were scraping by with wins against bad teams that they should be blowing out. Yeah, Dak bookended the season with horrible games. Those might have been the 2 worst games he's ever played as a pro. I mean, now the interception thing, it's you're expecting him to throw a pick at this point. And it's not like him getting fooled either. It's just dumb decision making. That's the thing that shocks me the most. Like, I don't think he's the best decision maker, but it's like you see some quarterbacks get fooled with like, oh, a DB was acting like he was guarding. I'll give you an example. The third pick with Tua versus the Packers, I think it was Rasul Douglas. He was like acting like he was taking the guy in the flat, and then he dropped on the vertical route and jumped it and picked it off. That's you getting fooled, okay? When Dak threw it to the guy in the flat, he literally just like looked at him and threw it at him. Like that's just like a panic, dumb decision type throw, which is even more perplexing. Like you're not expecting a lot of his pick sixes this season have been like, yeah, like wow, that you're just looking at the TV and you're like, that was stupid. I'm worried about the receivers outside of CeeDee Lamb. No one's really showed up. Michael Gallup, he can't get separation. I mean, he's never really been a separator, but yeah, it's like he's either getting 2 touchdowns a game or he's invisible. The Cowboys have suddenly lost the ability to run the ball, but still, I'm gonna pick them to win because I do think they're the more talented team. I think both of these teams are going to be looking at big changes in the offseason if things go south. I think Tom Brady is going to be leaving regardless. So retires or not go somewhere else. So I think that they're going to be looking for another quarterback, a mini rebuild for them, see who they have. I don't want to be, I mean, I hate when people do this because I think some Cowboys fans have already chalked this up to losing. But I'm going to be honest. If the Cowboys come out and lay an egg or like blow something, like blow a big lead, if it's not like a good loss, like I don't think any loss is good, but if it's not like a good loss, I think Mike has probably got to go. I think Kellen's gone. I think Dan's going to be gone too. And then biggest of all, man, like I think they might try to look to shop Dak. Like it's getting to the point where like we need. I know that this season hasn't all been his fault. Like it's weird because we complain about Dak and Kellen, and yeah, they have like the number one scoring offense since like week whenever Dak came back. So I mean, clearly they're doing something right, but at a certain point, we got to get wins, and we need Dak to like step up. I know that the team is kind of screwed him with like getting rid of Amari. They don't do a good job of retaining talent. Uh, but yeah, it's like I'm gonna use a Colin Coward divorce analogy with like Derek Carr. I don't think Derek Carr is bad. Like I think he can win you a Super Bowl if he's on a really talented team. But after a certain time, you just realize like it's time to divorce. Like it doesn't have to be because someone cheated in the relationship. Sometimes the love just runs dry. Like you get married to be happy or like, grow most of the time. But sometimes the love just goes stale and the relationship grows stagnant and it's time to move on. I really think that this could be the case with Dak in 1 or 2 years. If we like lose this year in the wild card, then next year we don't make the playoffs. Like I think then it's time to move on. But yeah, I need to wrap this video up. I talked way too much about the Cowboys, but that's my team. I know the most about them. I'll probably have like a post game analysis thing because I want to watch all these games. I might not watch them all, but yeah, I think it'll be a good weekend. There's some good matchups, and I think there's some that are going to be blowouts. Like I think Bengals Ravens could be. I think 49ers Seahawks could become a blowout. But yeah, this is the best. This is when football gets real right here. So I'll probably have a mock. I thought about doing a mock draft, but it's once you get past like the teens picks, I'm just having a hard time. Like there's so many corners that I got to go through because I mean they a lot of them look pretty similar, or no one really stands out. That's more the term, but yeah, need to stop ranting. Thanks for watching. Peace. Enjoy. Don't get too upset if your team loses. But yeah, thanks.